to be, I mean, coming from Columbus, earning a scholarship, and now you're working out with the ones?
It's honestly a dream come true. I've loved Wisconsin ever since I've started growing up here, and it's surreal. I'm so happy. I just want to live in the moment.
How many? I'm guessing how many games you went to, as a kid growing up, is countless.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't keep track.
Yeah.
Where'd you sit normally?
Right back here, I would say. And then my senior year, I got to go on a bunch of recruiting visits here. I basically made it to every home game except the Minnesota one. I was busy that weekend. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, it's surreal to go from sitting in the stadium to being on the field. It's just a totally different atmosphere. Being able to see the crowd instead of being in it.
When you were a senior, where did you think you'd end up before you decided to walk out?
I didn't really know. I had a couple schools, FCS schools, interested in me, and so I figured I'd check them out and see what they're all about. But as soon as I came to this camp, the summer before my senior year, everything changed for me.
How did it change?
They noticed me. Coach Rudolph pulled me aside after, and he's told me that he wants me here, and he's going to stay in contact with me. And sure enough, a month later, I took an unofficial visit, and I loved every second of it, and my mind was made up.
Didn't they notice you first when you were in D-line drills?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually came to the camp as a D-lineman, and then halfway through, they switched me to O-line just to get a look at both to see if I was better with the O-line. So.
What did you think of that? Because you hadn't, touched your high school coach, you hadn't played a ton of O-line, right? I mean, you spent your junior year mostly as a defensive lineman.
Yeah, growing up, my mom actually, she would pay me for sacks in youth games. So I just loved playing D-line. It was so much fun tackling the quarterback, strip fumbles. So when I was asked to play O-line, I was a little turned off by it, but I just ran with it because I knew I had the opportunity to come here, and now I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
How much did she pay you?
It was $20 a sack, so she...
$20 a sack?
Yeah, so...
And that was your allowance?
Yeah. Yeah, one game it was $120 or something like that, yeah.
Did she know that there was a guy who got in trouble in the NFL for that?
No.
How did you spend the money?
Probably on video games at the time. A lot of video games.
How old would you have been when this was happening?
It was probably started my 5th grade year. I'd been playing tackle football since I could ever remember, so probably 5th grade to 8th grade, I would say. She finally cut me off.
I was going to say.
Yeah, they would have been in debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know if there was a game where you had your biggest payday or anything?
Yeah, I think the one was $120, and she was like, I don't know if I can do that again. We might have to drop it to $5 a snack or something.
That's funny. Are you going to tell her about this now that you're telling us all this?
Absolutely. She still gets a crack out of it.
You're going to be sorry, you might get in trouble. No.
Do you get it paid here for pancake blocks?
We haven't discussed that, but I think I might.
Josh, you didn't really do the camp circuit until before your senior year, right?
Correct.
Was that just a personal decision, or did you just not know if you were going to be a next level player or what?
I didn't really think about playing college football too much. And then my coaches sat me down, my high school coaches sat me down and were like, we really think you should go to the NDSU camp and South Dakota State and a bunch of FCS schools just to get my name out there.
Yeah.
And I realized I love the game. I want to keep playing it as long as I can. So I decided to look into playing college football.
Did it help? I mean, some guys specialize in one sport. You were track, basketball, and football, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Did especially the track, shot, and disc help you? Did that anything with the footwork help you in terms of how you can do it on football?
Yeah, I would say, especially in the shot, being explosive is the main thing that helped me. I could translate that to the football field. I even wrestled growing up from kindergarten to 8th grade, so I think that also helped a little bit. There's a lot of power and explosion in wrestling, I think, and so that translates well in the football field. You see a lot of wrestlers that are pretty good football players too.
Keanu,
Yeah,
those tackles.
yeah, that is, yeah.
I think I saw you discuss this on Twitter, but your nickname that Chris Orr gave you, do you remember when he gave that to you and what your reaction was?
So funny story is Chris actually didn't give that to me.
I was told he did, and he took credit for it.
Barry Alvarez, Jake Ferguson's grandson, or grandfather. Yeah,
That's a funny story.
He said that he was looking at the recruiting class, and Fergie came up to me and was like, "Yeah, my grandpa's got the nickname for you, Buffalo Head, because your head's so big." And I was like, I've always had a big head growing up, and it's no big deal. I've ran with the nickname. You know, if Barry Alvarez is going to give me a nickname like that, I'm going to run with it, and it's spread throughout the team. So I got a couple other ones too.
What size helmet do you wear? I mean, like,
I wear XL. We just got our custom fit Rydell Speedflex, and the guys came in and they scanned our heads, and so I ended up having to get smaller pads after they scanned my head. Still, yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. Do you know what hat size you would wear?
I don't wear hats. I can't.
Yeah.
The fitted hats, they're not big enough. And then
What if it's got a snapback and
Nope.
like no?
no fitted or no snapbacks.
When was the last time you wore a hat? As a kid?
Yeah, probably 6th, 7th grade, I would say. I went to Miller Park and I bought one, and it was like on like the last snapback. So.
when you first got here and not having played a ton of offensive line, how foreign was it to you? I mean, did you feel like a little bit like a fish out of water at first, or no?
I would say no. My senior year, I switched and played manual 9, but I played both ways still. And I think even just the footwork is a lot different, but even just being on that side of the ball, knowing you got to protect the quarterback, you got to block as long as you can, I think that helped a lot. But then coming here, you know, you had to learn the playbook, adjust your footwork, adjust to different blitzes and stuff like that. It's just all ramped up a lot from high school, I would say.
Was there a particular lineman from last year's team that you feel like kind of took you under their wing or anything like that?
You know, I'm actually going to go with, I believe there was 6 of them. All 6 of them.
Yeah.
From Dietzen, Benchwall, Dieter, Kapoy, Edwards. I'm blanking on the last one. Yeah, the rest of them. And, you know, they were always so helpful. You know, we'd be running with the 2s or something like that, and they'd pull me off to the side when I was done and tell me what I could do better and tell me what I did good to make me realize that I can play here and stuff like that.
Your head coach said that you made your mark initially on the scout team. And I asked him, how do you make your mark as a lineman on the scout team? And he said, just by blocking people who are pretty damn good. Do you remember what that was like?
Yeah, I remember we had a bunch of brutes on the D line. It was Sheehy, Alec James, Chikwe, Olive, Dooley and Leon, outside linebacker, even pulling for T.J. Edwards and Connolly, Chris Orr still to this day. It's allowed me to become a better player, understanding that those are the type of guys you're going to go against because they were very good.
Was there a moment when you first got there and maybe they got the better of you and you said, okay, I've really got to...
Oh, absolutely. There are many times when you realize that you got to step up your game and give them a good look to be able to compete on Saturdays, so they understood what that opposing team was going to do on the offensive line.
Gosh, it's a long road once you get here and you see all these guys ahead of you in the pecking order. Do you just have to kind of try to find the light at the end of the tunnel? And is that the hard part at first, or?
I didn't really think about that too
no,
much.
Okay.
I just focused on working out, getting stronger, understanding the playbook, and enjoying my time with my friends that I came in with.
How did the scholarship? How did you find out?
So I got to play a little bit at the end of the New Mexico game. I think I got a drive, and I felt really confident going in. And then after the couple days after, I would say that Tuesday after the New Mexico game last year, Coach Chris pulled me aside at our dinner, or it's called training table, and he asked me to come up to his office, and then he told me that, and I was just shocked and happy, and called my parents as soon as I could, and it was an emotional phone call, and I called all my sisters and told them, so it was a really cool moment.
Did you kind of know what he was gonna?
I had no idea.
Okay.
He said he was going to mess with me a little bit, and said I was going to be in trouble or something, and then, no, it was all good.
Did you tell your mom I can pay you back the $220 now?
Yeah.
Not in cash, but
in
in what you save.
Yeah.
A lot of your skill guys like the new uniforms, or the ones for the Northwestern game. Do the linemen like them? Do you care?
We don't really care. I mean, it's cool to be able to 150th anniversary of college football, but we're just ready to play the game, I think.
So how have you seen the offensive line? I know Tyler and Cole have been limited at times so far, but what have you seen from the line, and how are you feeling that you guys are gelling so far, even though there is competition?
It was tough with Tyler and Cole being out because they were our 2 leaders coming back pretty much. But I think the first couple weeks of camp, it's all about getting us to mesh and work as a collective unit, all 11 players, not just the O-line. So I think we're working on it, and I think it's a good process up until the first game. So I think we're at a good point right now.